sex life is absolutely no one else's business. It's embarrassing, honestly. And the really shitty thing is I don't know how many times you did that.
Give us a little backstory.
So when I met her at this event called Tinderella, I realized there's no girl like Jordan.
You met at this event, Tinderella. Yeah. What is that?
It's a millennial dating game. They put all of our profiles on the projector. It was like me, this other nondescript dude, and then a really hot guy. So, you know, she picked him. His name's Brian. I didn't get a chance to get her number. We did lock eyes, so I said, like, in my head, like, I'm not giving up. I did get in touch with the guy who runs Tinderella and has the email list. So yeah, I got her email.
What did the email say?
Hey, Jordan, I don't know if you remember me, but do you think that we could go get coffee?
And what was her response?
Her response was yes.
What happens on the first date?
I wined and dined her.
Okay.
Yes.
How long were you dating?
About 6 months.
All right, so after the first date, you guys were hanging out constantly.
It felt like the first date just continued. And she was just like really special. She's the first girl I ever fell in love with. I texted her, and she usually texts me back right away. I noticed she still hasn't texted back. And then I called her, and it went straight to voicemail. And then I looked on her social media. I realized she blocked me.
Is there any theory you think why she could have ghosted you?
I'm thinking maybe Brian.
Yo!
Brian!
Tinderella man! We know that you are at an event called Tinderella. You won, correct?
Jordan chose me.
Jordan
Okay.
chose you.
So what happened? Did y'all talk after that?
We talked for a while at the bar after the show. There wasn't much of a connection there, and I wasn't really feeling it. Nice girl, just different points in our lives. Last time I saw her was at the event, and I left, and it was just her and Max at the bar. They were real cozy.
Who's Max?
The host of Tinderella.
Ryan told us that even though Jordan picked him, they talked, they really didn't have a connection, but you and Jordan were the last ones talking at the end of the night.
Yeah, we were
Hitting it off?
we were hitting it off, so to say, and yeah.
What happened at the end of the night?
Well,
It turns out that the night of the event, they were actually at the bar together at closing, and he took her home. That was the whole extent of their relationship. After that, they never saw each other again.
I'm like pretty angry right now because Max is the guy, like how we met, and we've talked about Max before, and you would think that like in those conversations she would have slipped that in, like, oh, me and Max like got together once, and I probably would have been okay with it, but it just feels like, what else don't I know now?
Hello?
Hey Jordan, it's Rachel and Travis. We're trying to help Ross out, and we're really hoping that we can meet up with you and we could just kind of put an end to all of this.
I can't meet up today. I have personal stuff going on that I actually have to go and take care of really soon.
The dude has no understanding why this girl that he was in love with kind of disappeared.
I had a really good reason for ghosting him, so that's really all I have to say about
Look,
that.
you don't need to tell us. That can be totally between you two. We just want to know if you're open to sitting down with him.
Ross has kind of been left in the dark. It's been
Okay, fine. Yeah, I have to go. My mom's calling me right now. I can't talk.
okay.
We're gonna
Well,
text you.
We got
Jordan's
to Jordan.
in.
We got to Jordan. I mean, Travis and Rachel for the win.
Okay, Jordan. So it's a weird whole situation, but I was desperate, obviously. The way that I felt about you was pretty clear. I loved you. You know, you're like the one girl that I actually wanted to grow old with. Whatever you view as flaws, like I like them like the most. And yeah, in my heart, I still feel for you, obviously. Why were you hiding me? Were you like embarrassing me or something? And then like, why you wouldn't tell me that you got with Max? That really pissed me off. I want you to look at me in the eyes and tell me about all those things I just mentioned, and like, why did you ghost me?
I just want to like start out by saying I really, really loved you. I mean, you were like my first real boyfriend. You were like funny and, I mean, you always made me laugh. I was really in it. Like, I was ready to be in it for the long haul. I didn't tell you about Max because it was before we started dating and it has literally nothing to do with our relationship.
I actually agree with that.
I mean, I connected with you and I shared with you more than I literally told anyone. I told you about my dad and you knew about all of that stuff, that he wasn't in my life, that he walked out when I was 4. And I don't really like talking about that. It really is hard for me. So the fact that I was even able to talk to you about that was really a huge step for me. I mean, I was falling so hard for you. But I trusted you. You broke that trust. The real reason I ghosted you was because the stuff you were saying about me was honestly so disrespectful.
What? I don't recall ever disrespect you.
Are you kidding me?
Why would you ever think that?
I mean, I have proof, so.
What do you mean you have proof? Like,
you wouldn't show me any of your comedy stuff at all. So I found out about one of your shows and I snuck in. The stuff you were saying about me was so just not okay at all to put in a stand-up routine. I mean, I took a video, so. I mean, if you really want me to be specific, I have that.
I guess I would, because I might have had like a few jokes about you, but I never put your personal life on blast or anything like that. Like.
Can I please show him the video?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have this new girlfriend, man, and she's like crazy. She's like teaching me all this stuff, like 71, like 69 with 2 fingers and stuff. She's gonna be the branch manager of my spank bank forever. The only thing is, she calls me daddy. It's like, that's a lot of responsibility. I mean, I'm gonna wear my jean shorts, but go to some PTA and get the girls I really want. Like, thank you for teaching me all these things.
I mean, so what, because of these like 3 jokes, like, you could have just told me not to say those jokes because...
No, because it was not okay for you to ever say those jokes. You referred to my daddy issues, which is really not okay. Growing up without a dad, my whole life, and you just want to make a little joke about it. I have to live with that, with all that shit you're saying about me comes from all this deep baggage that I have to live with. And yeah, you can just make jokes about it, but I don't get to do that.
You could have just sat me down instead of just pretending that like I don't exist anymore. I don't know, it's just like kind of ridiculous to me.
Are you serious?
This is it. This is why the past 9 months I've been sitting like racking my brain wondering, what am I missing? Am I an idiot? And it's about this, my stand-up, like.
You were making jokes about how our sex life is really crazy and I'm really experienced.
Oh my God, it's a joke though.
Our sex life is absolutely no one else's business. It's embarrassing, honestly. And the really thing is I don't know how many times you did that. I don't know how many clubs you went to and said those jokes. I trusted you. You broke that trust. And instead of just being like, oh yeah, I messed up. That was really bad of me to do. You're just making excuses and being like, oh, it's just a joke.
Russ, what was your decision?
I decided to ghost. After hearing the reason why you ghosted me, it kind of changed the way I felt for the past 9 months. Like I said, I'm sorry for what I did, but I thought that we had a pretty open line of communication. I would rather have a relationship where if I do mess up like that, we could talk about it.
Jordan, what did you decide?
I decided to ghost.
Jordan, can you please explain your decision?
I trusted you, and after you broke that trust, I don't think that that's something that I could ever get back. You broke my heart.